Hi, I'm Dr. Susan Maples, and I'm here with my good friend Lucy.
Hi.
I'm here to highlight, I'm on the CariFree Cooperative, and I'm very proud to be part of this programming. And I'm going to highlight something that we do uniquely with children to help raise kids to age 18 with as few teeth filled as possible, a thorough understanding of caries disease and how to prevent it. And so with our kids, we do hands-on science experiments at every visit with every child. Lucy, how old are you?
I'm 10 years old.
And how long have you been coming to our practice?
I've been coming 10 years.
10 years, because you came as an infant.
Right.
So maybe the Learning Lab, you might have been coming for like maybe 8 years, or
right.
8.5 years,
yeah.
right? Or something like that?
Yeah.
So you've done lots of experiments already.
Yes.
How do you like dentistry so far?
I might want to be a dentist when I grow up.
Oh, isn't that nice? Did you know that we have like 44 of our patients that we've inspired are now dentists? Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
I know, because have you ever had a cavity?
I've had, I think, 4.
You've had 4 cavities early on.
Yeah.
So, if you hadn't had much exposure to dentistry, you wouldn't know much about it, but you've learned a lot, haven't you? Yeah. I fashioned together a kit called the Hands-On Learning Lab Kit for other dental offices. All the 60-some experiments in here are listed with the age, what you'll need, what the setup is, what to do, what they're going to learn, and any particular notes. And Lucy's building quite a curriculum vitae, getting ready to apply to dental school. She'll know an awful lot by the time she gets there. I was just setting up some experiments related to caries because we have a lot of experiments and experiences that are not caries related, but I was just setting some up related to caries, and I said to Lucy, like, how many of these have you done? She said, I've done all of these. I'm like, all of these? That's amazing. So, given all that you know, how are cavities formed?
Well, I remember when I was learning in the Hands-On Learning Lab where there's all types of different bugs in your mouth.
Right.
Some are bad, some are good, and the bad ones, they eat sugar. And when they eat sugar, they pretty much pee acid on your teeth, and then the acid makes a cavity in your tooth.
I guess you won't be forgetting that. That's kind of gross. So, have you ever looked at the boneyard of extracted teeth with a magnifying glass to try to identify the different stages of cavities? What's the first sign of a cavity?
Well,
remember this one?
Yeah.
What happens when you first start to see a hint that there's some tooth decay? What does it look like? Is it brown? Is it white? Is it yellow?
It's kind of yellowish, sort of.
Yeah, actually, it can be, but most of the time we get a little white spot. Remember when we did the acid etch on the teeth and then rinse it off, and what did you see?
White.
Yep, a little white spot. And then at some point it builds into do you know what the word cavity stands for or where it came from?
No.
Does that look like a cave?
Yeah.
It came from the word cave.
Wow.
Well, I know, right? Kind of gross. Anyway, Lucy we've set up here how to use a diagnodent in occlusal caries awareness or detection. We also use the caries screen, which came from CariFree, to do a swab in her mouth, which she's done before, to see her cavity proneness. And over here we've been playing around with some pH paper, some acid chemistry, looking at pH already because we set up a science experiment earlier. What was the science experiment we just set up?
Well, we had tooth dust.
Mm-hmm. And it's got a name for it. Hydroxyapatite.
That.
It's ground up tooth dust, right?
Yeah.
And what did we do with it?
So we wanted to find something with acid in it, and we found Gatorade.
And what else was really acidic?
Lemonade.
Mm-hmm. Any kind of soda, really, but we put it in Gatorade. This is lemon lime. And this lemon lime Gatorade has sugar also. But what did we find out about that?
So we got water and just normal water, not bottled water because bottled water is bad for your teeth. We got the Gatorade and we put some of the ground up tooth dust and we put it in both of them. And
did you test the acid level in those before we started?
Yes.
What were they?
The Gatorade was 3, even lower than a 4.5.
Do you realize that 3 is actually 10,000 times more acidic than saliva and water? Isn't that crazy?
Ew.
I know, it's an interesting scale. It drops down about 10 times each time, so like 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times. So it's like 10,000 times more acidic than the water. So which one do you think is going to dissolve the tooth dust?
I think it would be the Gatorade.
Because it's really acidy.
Right.
And the water was, well, the water is supposed to be a pH of
7.0
but
or 7.
Yeah, 7, but we got it. This water was sort of between a 6 and a 6.5. The tap water, wasn't it? So we already dropped some in here, and we'll see. And do you still see the tooth dust in there? All right, we're going to give this a little more time to see if it truly is going to dissolve, because there's still some tooth dust. But this one usually takes a little while, so we'll check it in a while. Okay? All right. So we have the diagonodent. We have the acid etching of the teeth. There's another experiment. We have measuring the amount of sugar in chocolate milk, lemonade, yogurt. We can measure some sugar. We can look at the extracted teeth. We could use fluoride soaking a hard-boiled egg. I saw hard-boiled eggs in the refrigerator to see the effect of fluoride after the egg is soaked in fluoride and not soaked, and put them into like the Gatorade to see what happens. Which experiment do you think you'd want to do next? Or you could place a sealant. Do you remember placing a sealant?
Yeah, I want to place a sealant.
You want to place a sealant? What can you tell? You've done this before. What can you tell me about this?
I've actually had sealants done.
Uh-huh.
I remember, first you put, like, it was blue stuff on my teeth.
The acid etch.
And then you put the special light on it. Then you put the pink stuff on it.
That's a sealant.
And then you put the light on it, and then now it looks like that.
And what's good about that is that this is actually a toothbrush bristle. It can't get down in that groove. So what happens down in that groove if we can't clean it out? What lives down there?
The bugs.
Yeah. So this what seals out the bugs so they can't get down in there. Because if the bugs get down in there, and then let's say you bite down on like a piece of candy and you feed the bugs sugar, what are they going to do?
They're going to pee on your teeth.
And they make a cavity way down in there, right? Right?
Right.
So instead of like this where that cavity's forming, we could look at the boneyard of extracted teeth and find some teeth that have cavities in the grooves. But the sealants really help, don't they?
Yes.
You want to place a sealant?
Yes.
Okay. So Lucy and I are going to place a sealant on a tooth. Why do you want to put that sealant on that tooth?
Because I wanted to make sure if this was like a real human, like with the tooth in him, I wanted to make sure that they wouldn't have to extract the tooth.
Right? Why would you ever extract a tooth?
Because it might be like rotten.
Bad cavity. Yeah. So why did you pick this tooth out? What does it have on there that you wanted to seal?
The bugs are inside of the groove, and when you're brushing your teeth, they can't go into the groove with the bugs inside the groove.
Yep, I got it. So what happens when someone like chews on something sticky and like sugary?
Well, you have to brush your teeth very well, but sometimes that doesn't do a lot of things because the toothbrush bristles can't reach all the way down into the groove.
And when the sugar feeds the bugs,
they pee on your tooth and make a cavity.
Down in the groove.
Right.
Right, so we're going to seal that groove. So go ahead and take this acid etch and very carefully put the acid right onto the groove. Very good. Can you spread it out over that groove? You don't have to squirt any more out than that. And we're going to be careful. We have gloves on and glasses because guess what? It's acid. We don't want to get it on our fingers, do we? We're going to give it about a 10-second count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Now I'm going to rinse it off over here. This water syringe. Since we don't have an air syringe in here, we're going to dry it really, really well. Normally we'd be blowing air on it. And what do we see when we acid etch a tooth? Does it turn whitish?
Yeah.
Makes a white spot. It's like sort of like a beginning cavity, doesn't it? In this case, the white spot is just there because it's going to like allow this stuff to kind of glue into there. So go ahead and take your tooth and see if you can put that on. Point that right down toward it. Is it coming out? All right. What color is it?
Pink.
Pink. And then what happens when you put this fancy light on it? Do you remember?
It's going to harden.
It
turn
is.
White.
Yep. Go ahead. You can cover it right up so it doesn't get in your eyes. Go ahead. There you go. Bright blue. That's a UV light. And it's going to harden that up. You can look that way and squint. Say, hey. Give your cheesiest grin. All right, now look.
It's white.
It's glossy and white, isn't it? Does it look like this?
Yeah, it does.
Do you have sealants on your permanent teeth?
Uh-huh.
I bet you do. Yep. Did you get to do one of these practice with the sealant before we ever did it on your teeth? That's kind of fun.
Maybe?
You
Probably.
didn't share if it was before or after.
Probably.
Yeah. One of the things that Lucy does every time she comes into this learning lab is she learns to clean her own teeth, right? We actually stain the plaque on her teeth with this two-tone. It stains old and new plaque. And then in this lighted magnified mirror, she gets to study and see where you missed, right? And then, I don't know if you can catch this in here, Molly, by looking down in here, but Lucy gets to choose whatever she wants to clean her teeth with, including some pretty cool power brushes, right? Yep. And then with the hygienist helping you, you get to learn how to use all of those things to clean your teeth, right? So when you find that you're choosing what you want to clean your teeth, do you have more interest in it at home? More fun?
Yeah.
You choose different things every time?
Right.
Yeah. It's good. Good how to learn how. Thanks. So Lucy and I are in the hands-on learning lab, and earlier when we first started, I think we mentioned that we were playing around with this stuff. What is this?
It is shaved up tooth dust.
Yes, it's tooth dust, hydroxyapatite, and it basically it'll stay, teeth will stay completely intact as long as what? It's in the mouth and...
Sugar bugs.
Yeah, there's no sugar bugs for sure. But what are we looking at? What makes the teeth dissolve?
The acid.
Right.
From
Very good. From the sugar bugs and also from what else? What
like
about
sodas?
Yeah. So this has sugar, but it's also acidy, right? How could we tell it was acidy?
You could tell because of the strips that we took.
Go ahead and put that in your mouth. What color is that?
Green, dark
Bright green. What does that mean?
It doesn't.
It means it's neutral, or a pH of what?
7.0, just 7.
So we already know about this stuff. Go ahead and dip it in the Gatorade. Is it going to be green?
Nope. It's bright
yellow. My gosh. So that was a pH of about 3. So when we put the little tooth shavings into the water,
Um,
and we put it into the Gatorade and we left it. Now, I like to leave this for about an hour, and then you really see it all dissolve. But right now, we're going to stir up the water one, and we're going to stir up the Gatorade one. And then I want you to look at it. Does this look like a snow globe?
this one looks like a snow globe. This one looks like a snow globe without snow.
Without snow. It's just kind of fuzzy now. It all sort of dissolved. There's still some little particles in the bottom, but this one, you can tell, no matter how long that dust sits in there, it's not going anywhere, is it? It's not going to dissolve. You see?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how we know what acid does to teeth. So, what kinds of drinks could you drink that don't have acid?
You could drink water.
Mm-hmm.
Does bubbly water have acid in it?
I don't know. It's a really good question. I tested mine because I was drinking grapefruit bubbly. So because it had grapefruit in it, do you think it was acidic?
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. It was, and so I like to drink it, but I drink it and don't sip on it. Because if you're sipping on that throughout the day, would it be worse?
Yeah,
A
you should
lot.
just chug it.
Right. You're going to have a bubbly water. It didn't have any sugar in it, though, which is good, right? That was a really good question, though. I think you have to test the water. In fact, we got water out of this faucet, and it was a little more acidic than the one in the other faucet, wasn't it? Which was interesting. And you asked me about bottled water.
And that's really bad for you.
Well, some of them are not acidic, and some of them are. Let's see if we have a bottled water up here. We might.
Yep, we have
Oh,
one.
here's vinegar. That would be very acidic. Here's some Aquafina. Let's test a couple more. Go ahead and tear off some paper.
But what I drink at home is mineral water.
Yeah? Pull it out.
Oh, look at that.
What is that?
This is between 5 and 5.5 or 5.5.
And enamel dissolves at where?
5.5.
Yeah, so it doesn't look anything like your saliva, does it?
Yeah.
So that's this water. What about, and the tap water was green, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What about the vinegar? Is that going to be?
It's gonna be like, I don't know.
We have vinegar. Ooh, really, really bright yellow. Nobody really drinks vinegar. We have this one for the fluoride egg experiment. But pretty interesting. You can test that, can't you? Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, thanks for joining us. It was a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope that you, if you're interested, you can always call and buy a hands-on learning lab kit and start a learning lab of your own, or jump on Total Health Academy, and you can get the Total Health Academy for adults and for children, and it includes the hands-on learning lab. That's an online learning platform for dental professionals to be able to establish a total health dental practice. This learning lab has been very popular. It's a great way to attract new patients and to keep kids healthy and happy for a lifetime. Lucy, with everything that she's learning, is learning how to keep her body healthy and at the same time gaining an interest in dentistry, right? Someday we'll be partners. Bye, everyone.